What's going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over Stardom's Dream Queendom 2022. I finally was able to finish the rest of the show. I was not going to review the show until after I seen that incredible, phenomenal main event between Giulia and Syuri for the World of Stardom Championship. We've seen three other great matches. The high-speed title was on the line in the pre-show match, one of the pre-show matches, and Azumi proven that she is one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. Kyrie and Utami Hayashishita went to a 15-minute draw, which was great stuff. We had a really fun trios hardcore match for the Artist of Stardom titles. Prominence taking on the champions, the champions going into the show, which is Oedo Tai. We seen heel turn ? Mina Shirakawa. She returned with Unagi, but after their match, turned on her, bringing Xia Brookside and Mariah May, I believe that's her name. I recognize Xia Brookside very, very quickly. If you like what you see here, click the subscribe button, the comment down below, hit the like button, do all that stuff, the social medias, at Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on the Facebook, and right here on youtube.com/at Misfit Wrestling Podcast. We're right on Spotify, and for the first time ever, I can announce this here. We are on Amazon Music and Audible for the first time ever. That was approved this morning. So, just go to audible.com, go to amazonmusic.com, and type in Misfit Wrestling Podcast, and all 41 or 42 episodes are up now because of the latest episode of AEW Dynamite from last night was posted. And all that good stuff. Year-end awards. Walked away with match of the year going to Azumi and Starlight Kid, who had a fun performance here tonight on this show. But if you guys want to know what was match of the year, who won Super Wrestler of the Year, who won Male Wrestler of the Year, Female Wrestler of the Year, all that good stuff, go to the episode 42, the AEW Dynamite review, which that was all in there. Also, we found out the news of Dragon Lee signing with WWE after winning the AAA tag team titles with Duelistico, defeating FTR. We also found, and he was signed to NXT. We also found out some other things, some other interesting things, I guess you could say, about CM Punk. Replied to a post about FTR wanting, Dax Harwood specifically wanting the Elite and CM Punk to make good and make up and make things work, and CM Punk responded with a duh. So when I get to my 2023 predictions, bold predictions for 2023, one of them actually concerns one of the women on the show tonight. So, but yeah, this show was actually really, really fun. I enjoyed the hell out of the show. Stardom, again, one of my favorite promotions in the world. They tend to go all out with their events. Great matches all in all. The Goddess of Stardom tag title match was fun, was fine. I just didn't like the outcome of it because it just didn't seem right. It was not a very good night for Cosmic Angels, if I'm going to be completely honest for you. But pre-show started with a Stardom Rumble. The winner of that match was I believe a double win. Super strong Stardom Machine, who underneath that is Sai Idai, who competed a little bit later on in the big She competed in the opening match of the main card, which is interesting. And also Lady C, who went under the mask for Super Strong Stardom Giant Machine. They won, eliminating Kevin, as they call him, the Stardom Rumble. A Rambo, whatever you want to call it, 20 minutes and 53 seconds. A fun little match. Fun, I guess, way to get the crowd invested here. Followed up, Azumi defeated Hikarai. Shimazumu. Hold on. I'm going to get this name right here. Hikari Shimizumi. He lost to Azumi in a fun opening pre-show match for the high-speed title. 9 minutes, 39 seconds. Like I said, Azumi is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. She did win Female Wrestler of the Year. Congratulations to her. She's doing some great stuff. That they will be doing. She's going to have a great future ahead. She's going to have a even better 2023, I believe. This match was like all over the place. You basically you stand. It's like if you were. It's like if it's like it was basically like a cruiserweight match. It was good stuff. Azumi hit the number uno for submission move for the win, which is a beautiful submission move. They just started going back and forth. A great sub 10-minute match between the two. Match quality doesn't necessarily have to equal match length. High speed title, like I said, is reminiscent of that whole cruiserweight style that you've seen WCW implement and all that stuff. Great matches all around. And we did find out after this that we're gonna have round 2 of Azumi and Starlight Kid next in 2-3 weeks. Which I'm excited for that. They're gonna hopefully outdo their match this year, which won match of the year. I wish I had kept the polls open a little bit longer because I guarantee you, somehow, some way, Giulia versus Syuri was gonna win match of the year. It's now personally now putting the year-end awards aside, Azumi and Starlight Kid was my match of the year up until this show. God, I cannot wait to talk about that match. But yeah, Azumi retained here against Shimizumi Hikarai. So she retained against Hikarai. Next up, we seen a preview of the Triangle Derby, which happens on January 15th. Then we go into a somewhat of faction warfare match here. A fun opening main card match here. My Stars versus Stars, Mayu Iwatani, Hana, Momo Kogo defeated Hazuki, Koguma, and Sai Irai. Hazuki little dipped into a little bit of her Oedo Tai days, which is nice to see. She steals my heart every time she comes out there. I love Hazuki. She's fantastic. Mayu Iwatani, one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Hannah is great as well. So fun little opening match, 12 minutes, 4 seconds. Fun opening main card match. Mayu Iwatani hits Sai Irai with the Dragon Suplex combination pin for the win. After the match, they all embraced, and I believe I seen a picture. I think it was during this match. Either it was during this match or some other match that members of Stars was holding the tail of Mayu Iwatani. So what's next for them? Well, they're in the I said the Triangle Derby tournament. trios tournament. Red block. Actually, they're not in the tournament. Rather, excuse me. We cut that part out. Next up, we have they go over the people in the block for the uh, Triangle Derby Oedo Tai members, Toro, Ruka, and Saki Kashima, who was competed on the show tonight in the trios match for the Artist of Stardom title, where she defended the Artist of Stardom title with Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe. Also in the blue block for that, we have 7-Up, which don't get me started with that whole thing, because I'm not very happy with that booking of the Goddess of Stardom championship match. Mina Shirakawa, Unagi defeated Thekla and Mai Sakurai, 10 minutes, 13 seconds. Mina pinned Thekla with the glamorous bomb driver. Yeah. Mina hit the so next up we had Mina Shirakawa and Unagi Sayakaya Unagi. Yeah, Mina Shirakawa and Unagi Sayaka. They defeated the team of Thekla and Mai Sakurai. Mina pinned Thekla with the glamorous driver Mina move that looks great. I like it. So this match was interesting. The match was fine. The match was all right. Mina got another edge. This was her first match since the match with Kamatami back in October, I want to say, where she challenged Saya for the Artist of Stardom, not the Artist of Stardom Championship, the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Got concussed and lost a few bit of teeth. And she came out, not too much difference. Cut her hair a little bit. But the reveal was great. The interest is great. She's great at what she does. She knows how to get the people riled up here. Came out here with Xia Brookside and Mariah May. She made a surprising return to. They both made a surprising return here. I know Mina chopped off her long hair, like I said. I threw that out there. We had the short-lived reunion of Pink Kabuki, which a lot of people look forward to the reunion of Thekla and Mina in the ring together. They weren't in the ring that much longer. They battled over the SWA championship earlier this year. Their personality and chemistry, they have simply become one of the top people in the company. Thekla, this was pretty funny. So she said, "Like you're still a cutie to Mina," and just starts beating her up. The match, like I said, was fine. Nothing big happened on the match. It was all right. But the thing that people are talking about the most is the post match. While Unagi's trying to celebrate with Mina, Mina just starts beating her up. So, see poor Mina crying, not Mina, Unagi crying, which you want to like hug her. She starts getting on the microphone. Amina does. Starts speaking English, saying she's introducing her new friends, that being Xia Brookside and Mariah May, and they become Club Venus. That was the name they were given, or the name they revealed as the new faction. and Mina Shirakawa has left officially. It seems like Cosmic Angels. So, and they will. She announced. So, so on December 6th. So she was surprisingly excluded from representing Cosmic Angels in the Triangle Derby. So we'll see what happens there. With all of that, Natsupoi and Tam Nakano and all that stuff. Club Venus is what I called it. Whatever I said earlier, it's not correct. So there's that. Xia Brookside was called the Angel of the Ring, and all that stuff. So who knows what they're gonna do with that? We'll see where that's gonna go. Next up, Goddess of Stardom, #1 contender 3-way. This was fun. New Eras, Mirai and Amy take on Micah and Himeka, who take on Toro and Ruka. That was some good stuff. But Hime, Hime, but Micah and Mahime, that's the name of the group. They won the match. Fun little match. Micah is still one of my favorites. I love what she does here. Micah hits Ruka with a Michinoku Driver 2 for the win. Fine match. Like I said, they get a #1 contenders match against. I'm hoping they are the ones that's going to ruin the day for 7-Up. We'll talk about them a little bit because I just don't care about it, about what's to come with all that stuff. So there's that. Also, who knows? Next up, we had fun match. Fun 15-minute match here. Mayu Iwatani joined commentator for the second half of the show. This was Kyrie taking on Utami Hayashishita in a non-title match. The stipulation was whoever lost the match had to wrestle in their debut costume with no special entrance ring gear, no appealing to the crowd, but they did during the entrance. So, and I couldn't see, like I said before, I couldn't see Utami or Kyrie not do their respective entrances at shows like a Wrestle Kingdom and whatnot. So I kind of figured they're probably going to do the time limit draw, and it just made sense to do the time limit draw. And I'm not even mad. This match was actually really fun. I cannot wait to see more. They gave me a taste of what they could do, and I want to see more of it. After the match, Utami motioned to wanting the title, and I think depending on what they're going to do after Wrestle Kingdom, which is probably going to go with Sasha Banks versus Utami versus Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie's losing the IWGP Women's Title anytime soon because you aren't going to do that what you just did with Utami teasing a title match between the two and just immediately take the title off of her for Sasha Banks. Let's not do that. Or Mercedes Moné, whatever you want to call her. There was a spot in the match that I really liked. So Kyrie was going to go for her one of her sliding elbows, bouncing off the ropes, and coming off of the ropes while Utami's on the ground. She just fucking kicks Kyrie in the fucking arm. It looked disgusting, and I loved it. Utami has another great fucking submission move on her. She has it looked like a rear naked choke, sort of like a crossface chicken wing sort of maneuver applied on Kyrie. Kyrie was able to get out of it barely. And there was another spot in the match that I really loved. It was a I believe it was a dragon suplex from the top rope, which looked awesome. Utami is one of my favorite wrestlers on the entire planet. She is currently, I mean, I know I talk a lot about Azumi being fantastic. But if I'm talking about all of Stardom, like, as a whole currently, Utami Hayashishita is, like, my favorite wrestler in the company, and this match was great. I cannot wait to see a second round of this match, and it's gonna be even better than their first. Nobody won here because it was a time limit draw. Uh, they didn't even get to do the count because after Kyrie hit the insane elbow, didn't get the 3 because the time had expired. I believe I've been told special attraction matches like that only get 15 minutes. I believe regular title matches get the full 30 minutes, 30 or 60-minute time limit. Could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 30 minutes for the time limit. But also another thing I liked about it was the blue versus red contrast between the two. Kyrie at the start of the match tried to hand Utami a blue rose. Utami took it and then just threw it on the ground and just kicked it away. And I seen the look on Kyrie's face like she wanted to cry. Like she was so disappointed and so heartbroken, it seemed like by that. And then she just started beating Utami's ass. I do want to know because they didn't show who it was, but I do want to know who stopped Kyrie from charging in on Utami against the ring post. I'm not actually sure who it was because they didn't tell you. I mean, because again, I'm still new at learning the Japanese language. Uh, Trying to because the commentary doesn't help very much, but um, that was good stuff. I enjoyed this stuff. What I didn't enjoy, what next thing I did enjoy was this hardcore match. This this trios hardcore match. Prominence defeated Oedo Tai. Uh, Suzu Suzuki pins Kashima with a German suplex. This was a ton of fun. Uh, Momo Watanabe is like it's okay. So how do I explain Momo Watanabe to people who's never seen Momo Watanabe? I don't know if I compared her to him during the Start crossover review, but she is like if you took everything about Kenta and the character wise, uh, maybe if you want to do that in the same way as in the ring, but as a character, if you took what Kenta is as a character, applied it to Momo Watanabe, turn that up to about 75 to maybe 100. That's who you got. um, she's coming out here with baseball bats, barbed wire baseball bats, a lot of chairs. She's like just a fucking badass. I love it. Um, my favorite spot in this match though was Starlight Kid riding a bike. She had a bike with her, and she ran over Prominence. It was fucking hilarious, and I love Starlight Kid so much. Um, uh, and she has a beautiful movesaw too. So that's even like uh, not as good as Io's, but her movesaw is very very beautiful. Um, Speaking of Io Shirai, I keep forgetting that Momo Watanabe, uh, her her mentor was Io Shirai, and the more I thought about it, I'm like, no wonder she does the crazy shit she does. Io rubbed it off on her. But poor Kashima, she was not. She got the fucking short end of the stick. Beautiful woman, but she's great too. Uh, but she just kept getting her ass kicked. She took a Samoan driver who threw off the top of the turnbuckle through the damn table that was originally set up by a way to tie. They were gonna put uh, Higaragi through the fucking table. Didn't go with the plan. Um, but Momononabe did some good stuff. She is the master of the trash can. She fucking knocked the ever living shit out of I believe it was Higaragi to the she fucking knocked the hell out of her. It was great. But unfortunately, Prominence pick up the victory. They became the new Artist of Stardom champions. And I believe, if I understand correctly, the Triangle Derby will determine the number one contenders for whoever is going to be the Artist of Stardom champions by the end of that tournament. We don't know. I don't know when the um, um, until the end here. But yeah. Um, but yeah, there's that. Starlight Kid's doing great. Great stuff. I love her. I love Starlight Kid. I love Momo Watanabe. And I keep saying this every time I talk about these two. Black Desire is a great fucking name for a tag team. Okay, I'll say it until the day I die. It's some good shit. And I eventually, whenever we go back to doing more Stardom, New Japan shows, I want more mixed tag matches between Starlight Kid and El Desperado. I want that so much. Please give it to me, Stardom and New Japan, please. Thank you. Oh boy. All right. This was the match was fine here. This match was fine. Up, you 7-Up, whatever you want to call them, defeated Tam Nakano Natsupoi to win the Goddess of Stardom titles. I was not a fan of the finish of the match. Not and so wasn't a lot of other people was not. I personally didn't think they should have had Tam Nakano, who is going into one of her biggest matches of her career, in front of 70,000, 80,000, whoever, how many people are going to be allowed into the building on Wednesday for Wrestle Kingdom. And you're going to have her just straight up lose, and then you're going to get, and then she's going off a loss into a title match against Kyrie, which she's not going to win herself. At least give her a win going into one of the biggest matches of her career in front of the most amount of people she's ever wrestled in front of. Like, come on. And again, like I said earlier, this was not a great night for a Cosmic Angels. Mina Shirakawa, she just left him high and dry. Tam Nakano and Natsupoi lose the Goddess of Stardom tag titles. Tam Nakano's brain has been fried and been taken advantage of by Taichi. I think I tell you, Taichi. Ever since she's been with Taichi, been showing up with Taichi. Not been a great year for her if you really think about it. She had a great match though a few months ago in that steel cage match with Natsupoi. That was great, but you know, like I said, Tam is challenging Kyrie for the IWGP Women's title at Wrestle Kingdom. I'm still shocked that they had them lose here. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. So they just I can't. They really shouldn't have. They shouldn't really have stopped that momentum. Mahime should have won the. I think Mahime should have won the tag league tournament. I don't know why they didn't. They should have, but they didn't. It's whatever. It's whatever. Next up, Saya Kamatami defeated Araka. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I'm gonna be terribly sorry. Haruka. She defeated Haruka to retain the the Wonder of Star. I keep these titles. There's a lot of title matches of titles here. Saya won with the Frankensteiner. So the selling point of this entire match was Kamatani has not really fully recovered mentally from the Phoenix Splash that injured Shirakawa back in November. So I thought it was in October, but it was last month. But that's the story that they're telling here, and I love that. They're gonna keep that story going. After the match, um, she calls out Mina to the ring, uh, congratulate her on her return to the ring, and saying that she wants to wrestle her again in the future. Uh, Amy, who we seen earlier tonight, came out. I'm assuming is going to be her next challenger down the line. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this match was fine. I still think I still think uh, I do think I think the plans were changed as soon as Mina got concussed and got seriously injured uh at the last show that they did between these two. But that's just what I think, anyways. Main event time. This match was fucking incredible here. World of Stardom title match. Giulia beating Syuri to become the World of Stardom champion. 30 minutes. Pin the glorious driver. Great move that is, by the way. This match, 3 years in the making. They had one, I believe they had one earlier this year as well. They had a match March 26th of the World Climax show. It was great stuff. That's when she would announce her departure from DDM and to establish her own faction with God's Eye. She had a great match with Giulia there. These two go way back. Giulia brought in Syuri to DDM, founded the group with her. Of course, Syuri won the 5-star Grand Prix last year to win the title at this very show to the day against Utami Hayashishita, who had a phenomenal run as the champion last year. Who's here this year has not been that stellar, but she's been but in ring line she's still doing some great shit. Obviously, Giulia had to drop out of the 5-star Grand Prix last year due to a neck injury. Forced her out of the tournament, missed the remainder of the year. She had a match with Konami. Konami took at last year's Dream Queendom. Because Konami went on to have a hiatus. She's currently still on the hiatus. She comes back every now and then. She's part of Oedo Tai. She left Oedo Tai for God's Eye. Again, so after vacating the SWA Championship in January, and losing the Goddess of Stardom titles in January, again, like I said, Syuri announced that after her match with Giulia at the World Climax show, she would depart from DDM. Their parting ways in March was an emotional one, but they both understood that it needed to happen, and they both went on to become massive success. Syuri, she's been putting on great matches, but she has had a great run as champion. Not the best run, but her matches are great. And she did win PWI 500 or PWI either PWI 500 PWI 100 Women of 2022. I think that's what it is. Giulia found her way to the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix, where she defeated Tam Nakano, one of her long-standing rivals. A great rivalry that she's had with her fans. Got a taste of what they would be on the menu during the Star crossover show when the mixed tag match with Syuri teamed with Tom Lawler and Giulia teamed it with Zack Sabre Jr. Which I would love to see more of Zack Sabre Jr. and Giulia being a team. Giulia gave the permission that Zack Sabre Jr. gets as a member of a DDM, which is fucking hilarious. But much like that this match would cut. So much like the Utami Kyrie match, this match had this gut. My gut started telling me that this match would cut extremely close to the time limit, which I believe was the 30-minute time limit. This match was all over the place. It was fantastic. One point, Giulia and starts hits a I believe it was a dragon suplex on the ring apron, which is nasty. And then they start battling up to the top row, not the top of um the ramp. Uh, Clears out the crowd for do something, and Giulia fucking hits a Doomsday Saito suplex from the fucking ramp on top of these piles of chairs that are set at ringside for the crowd. Look nasty as shit. A lot of near falls, back and forth, moves from other teams. We see him running Liger Bomb. Seen all the good stuff. A lot of V triggers, and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, but what put her away, Syuri away, was the glorious driver, for the win, and Giulia rightfully wins the World of Stardom Champion. She is now the Queen of Stardom. She is uh, basically at the top of the mountain. She worked her ass off. She deserved to win the 5-star Grand Prix, and she deserves to be the champion right now. So I'm very happy for her. This is great. This is my favorite match of the year now. I know Azumi and Starlight Kid won match of the year in the year end awards, but my personal match of the year now is Syuri and Giulia, and I know I'm gonna probably get flack for this, but I don't care. This match will actually go and be a part of the 2023 year end awards discussion. Even though it was at the end of this year, it's gonna go in there for next year. This match was phenomenal. If there are things to take away from the show here tonight, this is one of those matches I would say you have to watch. If you're a fan of women's wrestling, first of all, I'd watch this entire show if you're a true fan of women's professional wrestling, and if you love professional wrestling and women's wrestling as a whole, you need to watch this match. You need to watch this match. It was great. It was so good to see this match, and it's just great. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do next with Syuri. Or not Syuri, Giulia as the champion. Got so many options. It seems like they could be setting up something in the future where for Giulia and Mayu Iwatani, which that's on paper that sounds phenomenal. I want to see that. Giulia, hopefully again with Utami Hayashishita. Giulia and Kyrie sounds a lot of fun. And when Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, when she comes in, imagine her versus Giulia. Giulia going into the Forbidden Door. I think if they do a Forbidden Door 2, I think Stardom will be a heavily in part of that show. And I think if Jamie Hayter is still the champion, I want to see Jamie Hayter versus Giulia on that show. That sounds like a banger of a match. I know Jamie Hayter says if the Stardom starts getting involved with AEW due to the New Japan connections, she wants to wrestle another match with Utami Hayashishita. I'd love to see that too. Who knows? I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Giulia had a hell of a 2022. If she does not, if PWI ranks her as the number one women's wrestler, I'm not gonna be the least. I'm not even gonna be the least shocked or surprised that happened. If she even makes it to the top 5 or the top 10, I'm still not gonna be shocked because based on how this performance turned out and how much and how many other performances she has in her, yeah, I can see that happening. And she had a great year this year too. So, Syuri won, like I said, top spot this year. She had a busy 2022 as the world champion. She passed the torch to Giulia. Banner year, where she earned accolades after one after the other. The woman, unlike no other, can finally take some time to heal up her body after shouldering the world for one calendar year. This match happened. She won and lost the title 1 year to the day that she won the title. It's incredible stuff. Still teaming with Mirai and Amy in the Triangle Derby to facing Queen's Quest in the opening night. I believe Giulia will be teaming up with Thekla Mai Sakurai in the Triangle Derby as the Barbarian Bombers. I believe that's what they're calling themselves. I think that's what they're calling themselves. They'll be taking on Rebel and Army, Rebel and Enemy, Ram, Micah, and Micah Ozai, and I believe it's Ozai. So Ozai, Maya Haki, Yuhaki, I believe it. They'll be taking on Rebel and Enemy. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna try to pronounce any of these names because I've already screwed up most of them here. But yeah, that was Dream Queendom 2022. This was a fun show. I enjoyed this show. I loved it. One of my favorite shows of the year. One of my favorite matches of the year happened on this show, and I suggest you guys go out of your way and watch the show. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this. Tomorrow night we got SmackDown. The first SmackDown, the last SmackDown of the year, the last WWE show of the year, the last wrestling show of the year. Believe it or not, if you count Rampage, the last live wrestling show of the year. Actually, that's not true. No, actually, no, that's not true. So, we got the main event on that show. John Cena teaming with Kevin Owens taking on the Bloodlines, Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. We have Sheamus taking on Solo Sikoa, Ronda Rousey defending the women's title against Raquel Rodriguez. That's what's happening on SmackDown. On New Year's Eve, I don't know how I'm going to watch the show. I'm going to somehow watch the show. Because Shinsuke Nakamura will be taking on the Great Muta. Yes, that's still happening in 2022. New Year's Eve, actually, it's happening on Sunday, which I'm so excited to see that. Like, I cannot wait to see if Nakamura is going to wrestle the strong style he used to, and see if he's been proved. If that happens and he starts doing the old school Nakamura from New Japan in a match with Muta, I want him to do it just to shout to people and say, "Oh, he can't work that style anymore. He's like 40-something years old." So AJ Styles is like around that same age, and he still is doing flips and all the shit that he shouldn't be doing at that age. So, here's that. Raw, the first Raw of 2023. 2 matches I know was announced. Bianca Belair defends the Raw Women's title against Alexa Bliss, and Seth Rollins challenges Austin Theory for the United States title. So that's coming up for the rest of the week. We got the first Raw, we got the first Dynamite of 2023 in next week actually. We got Wrestle Kingdom 17, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Kyrie and Tam Nakano, Jay White and Kazuchika Okada, the rumored debut of Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, a possible appearance, depending on how bad AJ Styles' injury is based off on tonight. Maybe he'll be at Wrestle Kingdom. Who knows? Who knows? Hell, who even knows? Io Shirai might make a save. Might be there to make the save if something happens, if they start fighting and then Io Shirai starts popping out. She's still in Japan, I believe. So, But I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Do all the comments, do all the subscriptions, all that stuff. The social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know where all that's at. Like I said, we're now on Audible. We're now on Amazon Music. We're also on Spotify. We're going to get Stitcher up and maybe iTunes. Maybe. I'm working on the iTunes one. Give me time. But yeah, we're gonna try to get everywhere with this this podcast, hopefully. So more eyes on the podcast is the better. But until then, I will see you back here for Friday Night SmackDown. We're out.